welcome to a fresh video here on the channel. In this one, we're going to talk about Jesse Motlop. So, an interview came through the airwaves over the weekend, and that was with Jesse Motlop's manager. And he spoke to a very familiar voice, Paul Sebastiani on SEN, and some really interesting bits of information around Jesse. They spoke about his 2024, they spoke about his preparation for 2025 and what it looks like for him, particularly with that small forward role. So have a look at this.
Jesse Motlop is a gentleman who is under your wing. There was a bit going on with regards to Matt Owens and the small forward role at Carlton. He had a bit of an injury-interrupted year last season. How's he going heading into what's going to be a big season for him? Obviously, that small forward role at Carlton is well and truly up for grabs, and we saw the talent that he has at his disposal in those finals last year, especially against Melbourne. How's he faring for 2025 and beyond?
You'll be glad to know he's firing on all cylinders, Paul. So he was pretty disappointed in his year, sort of this year in 2024. He had an amazing preseason. He was, he was in some of probably his career best condition going into the year, and then unfortunately just got hit with a little toe, and then that came back and then was a hamstring, and then before you know it, he's missed half the season. So it was really frustrating for Jesse this year, and then had to sort of work back through that and get in, and he was able to do that and have some impact in the second half of the season. But, you know, if you said to him in February that was how the year was going to be planned out, you wouldn't have picked that, and he would have been pretty flat about it. So he's similar to last year. Had a great off season. He's been to sort of Adelaide and Darwin and Perth and seen all the family. And he's really settled in Melbourne, which is exciting. And I've got no doubt he'll be attack pre-season similar to what he did last year, and he'll be in great nick for next year, because it's certainly, as you said, a role that it's really important to the Blues structure moving forward. So it's a great opportunity for him.
So nothing really out of the ordinary there. And I think Jesse Motlop, really curious conversation that's now evolved with Jesse. You know, he's about to approach his fourth season, which is remarkable, and another reminder of how quickly time flies. 2024, I think, will go down as a real learning experience for him. There's a few things that I think happened that were out of his control. For whatever reason, there was a belief that he didn't have a full preseason. So I don't know where that's come from, but he did. He just got hurt. He had that toe injury against the D's, as we heard just then. And I think that injury was out of his control. I would love to know, I don't know the answer to the question, but I would love to know how much of his preparation to get back was in his control. Was this a case of learning how to listen to his body, learning how to understand the signs of when to push, when to pull back? Because at the end of the day, he's played 7 games in 2024 after a really good preseason. He's kicked 6 goals, clearly down on the production that we saw in his second season, where he played 21 games and kicked 24 goals. And for whatever reason, I think the recency bias, we've spoken about it a number of times, it happens, and everyone just forgets what Jesse Motlop's capable of. So what we know right now is that he's fit and healthy. And at the end of the day, that doesn't guarantee you're going to have a great season coming up. So I've learned, I'm not going to be getting sucked into the fact that he's fit, therefore he's going to be kicking 30 plus goals next year. But at the end of the day, being fit and available and having continuity in your training, it just gives you the best chance to have a good, if not great, season. And so there's that element. There's the fact that Matt Owens is now gone. There's this added layer of responsibility and opportunity that presents itself for Jesse Motlop. I think 12 months ago to this day, I think most of the rhetoric around the small forward position was, don't play Matt Owens, invest time into the youth like Jesse Motlop and Corey Durden. And it's really interesting how that narrative has shifted after a disappointing output from Jesse in 2024. So I'm not quite giving up on him just yet. I think he's got all the tools and all the opportunity, and now he's got a bit of experience and a little bit of skin in the game. And I think he'll learn a lot from 2024. I think he'll understand his body a lot better, and I think he'll understand how to prepare himself a lot better as well. And there's that added with a new strength and conditioning coach who will hopefully be able to get on top of our soft tissue concerns that plagued us really for most of 2024, and really they've been plaguing us for a while. So there's a bit of optimism there. Nothing's guaranteed, but I'm backing him in to get back to his best. Now, what does the best of Jesse Motlop look like in 2025? I still believe, I said this last year, after kicking 24 goals in his second season, I thought when we were asking for a small to be able to provide 30 plus goals, I thought Jesse was capable of doing that. I still think he's capable of doing that. In actual fact, I think that he's the guy that's going to be able to really have that most improved type year. He's coming from a pretty low base, pretty disappointing base. So I think he's got all the minerals to have a great season, and I'm optimistic about him going into 2025. I think he's got that X factor. I think he still will need to work on his consistency across 4 quarters, but no, I'm bullish about him going into 2025, and we'll just have to wait and see. Preseason will start pretty soon. We're going to have the draft, and then the boys will be back into it. And before we know it, we're doing proper season 2025 preview. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited to see who steps up in the absence of Matt Owies. What about you? What do you think of Jesse Motlop going into 2025 on a high level? What's your view about his role, his opportunity, and how we get the best out of him? Chat to you soon.